these students have worked so hard. I'm so proud of them, and I can't wait for them to share what they have done and what they have learned. Their costumes and their visuals are absolutely amazing. So thank you for helping them with that. We couldn't do these things without your help, and you've made it even more special. So thank you. We actually began working on our biography presentations early in the year by talking about a lot of different people. In social studies, we cover a lot of things. We cover founding fathers, our presidents. We talk about civil rights leaders, even inventors and scientists. And so from the very beginning, I try to get them to think about the types of people who inspire them. So they actually started thinking about this early. And then after Christmas, when I asked them to choose a person, they did such a great job choosing the person that they wanted to know more about. And then, of course, the hard work started. We read the books, we researched, we used Ducksters, which is a great search engine for children. And then they made complete outlines. They wrote their first draft. We went back and wrote another draft. And their final copy, I typed for them so that they would have a beautiful presentation piece here that they could have when they get up. And you are just going to be amazed at how well spoken they are. They have practiced and practiced, and I appreciate you working with them at home as well. I'm so excited for you to share this with you. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Amelia Earhart. Boys and girls, if you'll come up on this side and come down on this side, that would be great.
Hello, my name is Amelia Earhart. I was born on July 24th, 1897 in Akins, Kansas. I think most people know me because I was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in flying already. I loved adventure and learning new things. Life was great when I was growing up. My parents' names were Sam and Amelia Earhart. They were wonderful parents who encouraged me to follow my dreams. As a child, I loved playing with my sister Amelia. We played football and fished. We read books and collected bugs. Most girls wore long dresses for playing in those days, but our mom made play suits for us. We could run and play like boys. When I grew up, I accomplished many things. I worked as a nurse, and I worked at a center that helped poor children. When I went to an air show, I fell in love with flying. I worked hard to be a pilot. I won many awards and medals. I couldn't wait to start breaking flying records. I did things that women had never done before. My greatest accomplishment was being the first woman to fly across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. While attempting to fly around the world, my plane went missing somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. My disappearance has always been a mystery. It is believed that I died around July 2nd, 1937. I lived to be 40 years old. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Amelia Earhart because she was a brave woman pilot. Everybody has the oceans to fly if they have the heart to do it.
Hello, my name is Harriet Tubman. I was born in 1820 or 1821 in Bucktown, Maryland. I think that most people know me because I helped over 300 slaves make it to freedom in the North, in the Underground Railroad. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in being with family, and I dreamed of freedom. Life was hard when I was growing up. My parents' names were Ben and Rick Ross. They were loving parents. They worked hard as slaves. As a child, I was a slave. I had many brothers and sisters who were also slaves. I started working as a slave when I was 6 years old. I liked outdoor chores better than chores in the house. I always wanted freedom. When I grew up, I accomplished many things. I freed my parents, a sister, 2 brothers, and many other people that I didn't even know. I ran away to the north for freedom, but I came back many times to help bring others to freedom also. I did this through the Underground Railroad. I was also a nurse, a scout, and a spy during the Civil War. My greatest accomplishment was successfully running away to escape slavery and then helping others find freedom. I lived to be 90 something years old. I died on March 10th, 1913 in Auburn, New York. I hope you enjoyed learning about myself and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography report about Harriet Tubman because she was a courageous woman and she never stopped helping others. I had reasoned this out in my mind. There was one of 2 things. I had a reason to liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would have the other.
Hello, my name is Coretta Scott King. I was born on April 27, 1927, in Marion, Alabama. I think most people know me because I married Martin Luther King Jr. I helped him in his work for the civil rights. I want to tell you more about myself and what I did to become famous. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in music and learning. I played the violin and trumpet. I sang in the choir. Life was hard when I was growing up because we were not always treated fairly. My parents' names were Obadiah and Bernie Scott. They were farm owners and believed that education was important for their children. As a child, my parents always supported me and encouraged me to reach for my dreams. I was recognized for my talents as a singer and for playing the violin. I graduated at the top of my class. I went to college and earned my degree in music and education. As an adult, I accomplished many things. I always fought for justice. I met Martin Luther King Jr. while I was studying in Boston, and we shared the same dreams. I always supported my husband in all he did, and we both fought for equal rights for all people. Even after my husband was killed, I continued in his mission. My greatest accomplishment was helping in the fight for civil rights, organizing foundations, and encouraging voter participation, and fighting for the equal rights for all people. I lived to be 78 years old. I died on January 30th, 2006. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Coretta Scott King because she was brave, kind, and loving. Freedom is never really won. You earn it and win it every generation.
Hello, my name is Albert Einstein. I was born on March 14, 1879 in Ulm, Germany. I think most people know me because I was so brilliant and my discoveries changed the world. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in learning and asking a lot of questions. I would sometimes get in trouble for questioning everything. Life was good for me when I was growing up. My parents' names were Herman and Pauline Einstein. They were always wanting me to help learn as much as I could. When I was 1 year old, my family moved to Germany. As a child, I loved music because it would calm me. In elementary school, I had an awful experience. I was a deep thinker and everyone did not understand my way of thinking. While I was in college, I decided to study physics. When I grew up, I accomplished many things. In 1905, I introduced my theory of relativity. I was a professor at the University of Zurich, Switzerland. I also won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1922. My greatest accomplishment was introducing my theory of relativity and winning the Nobel Peace Prize for physics. I also discovered the photoelectric effect. I am also known for the equation mc squared. I lived to be 76 years old. I died on April 18, 1955. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Albert Einstein because he was so smart and brilliant. Learn from yesterday, live for today, and hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning.
Hello, my name is LeBron James. I was born on December 30th, 1984 in Akins, Ohio. I think that most people know me because I am the greatest basketball player. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I live. When I was young, I was interested in all kinds of sports. I was always very athletic. Life was hard when I was growing up. My mother's name was Gloria James. She was hardworking and determined to be a good mother. As a child, I began playing organized basketball when I was in the fifth grade. My father was not in my life, but a great coach introduced me to basketball at the age of 9. I loved it. In high school, I averaged 21 points and 6 rebounds per game. As an adult, I had many accomplishments. My sophomore year in high school, there were many scouts coming to my games to watch me play. The Cleveland Cavaliers selected me as the first overall pick of the 2003 NBA draft. I won many championships. I returned to the Cavaliers in 2014, but in 2018, I signed a contract with the Los Angeles Lakers. I became the second player in NBA history to post 40 points and 0 turnovers at the age 35 or older. My greatest accomplishment was becoming an MVP player in the NBA. I was also the youngest player to score 20,000 points in the NBA. I am 41 years old. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about LeBron James because he is the greatest basketball player of all time. Don't be afraid of failure. This is the way to succeed.
Hello, my name is Anne Frank. I was born on June 12, 1929 in Frankfurt, Germany. I think that most people know me because I wrote a diary while I was in hiding during World War II. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in playing with my friends.
I loved playing ping pong. I did not like math. I had a happy childhood until the Jewish people began losing their freedoms. My parents' names were Otto and Edith Frank. We were Jews. They were loving parents and wanted me to have a normal childhood. As a young child, I was happy living in Germany with my family when Adolf Hitler came to power in 1933. Things changed for us. My father Otto took us to Amsterdam to get away from Hitler's rule. When Hitler took over Amsterdam, we soon lost all of our rights and freedoms. To make sure our family could stay together, we went into hiding. Our hiding place was on the top floors of where my father worked. When I was still young, I accomplished many things. I kept a diary while my family and I were in hiding. My father had given it to me on my 13th birthday. Because of my diary, people all over the world would know what happened while we were in hiding. It helped people see how dangerous it is to hate. My greatest accomplishment was writing a diary that could be shared with the world. My diary helped people understand the dangers of hate. I lived to be 15 years old. I died in March of 1945 in a concentration camp. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Anne Frank because she wrote a diary while she was in hiding for 2 years. Her diary has made a difference in the world. Despite everything, I believe that people are really good at heart.
Hello, my name is Thomas Jefferson. I was born on April 14, 1743 in Charlotte, Virginia. I think that most people know me because I was the first president of the United States of America. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in books, dancing, and music. I played the violin. Life was great. When I was growing up, my parents' names were Peter and Jane Jefferson. They were farmers, and Peter served on the Virginia legislature. As a child, I loved playing adventures. I loved adventures. I had a great curiosity. I lived on a plantation, and there was always something to explore. I went to College of Florida and Mary in Virginia. I studied 15 hours every day. I became a lawyer while I was still young. I loved being a lawyer, but I also loved music. When I was growing up, I accomplished many things. I built a beautiful home called Monticello. I love my house very much. In 1775, I was elected to the Continental Congress. I helped to write the Declaration of Independence. I believed everyone should have equal rights and freedoms. I was governor of Virginia before I became the first president of the United States of America. I was a very important founding father. My greatest accomplishment was being a founding father, writing the Declaration of Independence, and being the first president of the United States of America. I lived to be 83 years old. I died on July 4th, 1826. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to edit a biography about Thomas Jefferson because he was the first president of the United States, and he was so cool. Honesty is the first chapter in the book of wisdom.
Hello, my name is Helen Keller. I was born on June 27th, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama. I think most people know me because I was blind and deaf but learned how to read and write. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in having my own way until I learned words and what they meant. Life was hard when I was growing up because I did not understand the world of darkness around me. My parents' names were Arthur and Kate Keller. They were loving parents who wanted to help me. When I was born, I was a healthy baby. I had a very high fever, and this caused me to lose my eyesight and my hearing. I was a wild child because I could not make anyone understand me. When Annie Sullivan became my teacher, this changed my life. She taught me how to use sign language to talk to others. She taught me words, and I could even read using Braille. The first word I understood was water. When I grew up, I accomplished many things. I continued to learn all I could. I traveled around the world, gave speeches, and showed the world that anything is possible. I didn't let anything stop me, even though I was blind and deaf. My greatest accomplishment was learning to read and write, even though I lived in a dark and silent world. I lived to be 88 years old. I died on June 1st, 1969. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Helen Keller because I like that she learned so much even though she was blind and deaf. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision.
Hello, my name is Sally Wright. I was born on May 26, 1951 in Encino, California. I think that most people know me because I was the first American woman astronaut to fly in space. I wanted to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was little, I loved reading and being outdoor. Life was great. When I was growing up, my parents' names were Dell and Joyce Rye. They were both teachers and helped me reach my dreams. As a child, I was very smart and I loved science and math. I was also good at sports. I was one of the top tennis players in the U.S. I thought about becoming a famous tennis player, but I soon realized that I had other dreams. As a grown-up,
I did many things. I did well. I in college and got 2 degrees. I was really good at research. When NASA was looking for astronauts, I applied for the job. I was hired. I had to train a lot. Also work on making the space shuttle. In 1979, I was picked to go to space. It was the most fun I ever had. I was the first American woman in space. I wanted to space on June 18, 1983. I am also in the Hall of Fame. I lived to be 61 years old. Hope you enjoy learning about my life and what I did to be famous. I chose to read about a biography about Sally Ride because I like her bravery. All adventures can be scary.
Hello, my name is Rosa Parks. I was born on February 4th in 1913 in Kentucky, Alabama. I think that most people know me because when I sat on the bus, I did not give up my seat to a white man. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in being outside on my grandparents' farm and being with my family. Life was hard when I was growing up. My parents' names were James and Leona Parks. They were loving parents, but they separated when I was 2 years old. My mom was a teacher. As a child, I was a good student and I loved to learn. I studied hard, but I had to leave school when I was 16 years old to take care of my grandmother. When I was a hard worker and I always helped those around me. When I grew up, I accomplished many things. On December 1st in 1955, I took a stand for what was right while riding a bus home from work. I decided to refuse to give up my seat to a white man. I was arrested and I lost my job, but my bravery helped change unfair laws. It started in Montgomery, Alabama, boycott led by Martin Luther King Jr. My greatest accomplishment was helping to change unfair laws by refusing to give up my seat to a white man. I helped make a difference during the civil rights movement. I lived to be 92 years old. I died on October 4th in 2005. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Rosa Parks because what she did on the bus changed the world. Memories of our works and our deeds will continue on others.
name is Ruby Bridges. I was born on September 8th, 1954 in Tylertown, Mississippi. I think that most people know me because I went to an all-white school to help fight segregation. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I lived. When I was young, I was interested in playing tracks and climbing trees. I loved the outdoors, but life was hard at times. When I was growing up, my parents' names were Avon and Lucy Bridges. They were wonderful parents who encouraged their children to be the best they could be. As a child, I was happy and carefree. I had an amazing childhood. But school was hard because the black school was about an hour away from where I lived. There was segregation in the schools. While I was young, I accomplished many things. I changed the whole world when I went to an all-white school. I was assigned to William France Elementary School in August of 1960. I began school on November 14th, 1960. When I arrived, there was a large, angry crowd. Federal marshals had to protect me. We would push through the crowd to get to my classroom. I had to work extra hard, but I was brave and did not give up. Many of the other children stopped coming to school. I was often alone with my teacher. My greatest accomplishment was being the first African American child to attend an all-white school in Louisiana. I helped change unfair laws so that all children could receive the best education. I am 70 years old. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Ruby Bridges because she helped change the law by going to an all-white school. Now, black and white children can learn and play together in school. Racism is a grown-up disease. Let's stop using kids to spread it.
Hello, my name is Thomas Edison. I was born on February 11th, 1847 in Million, Ohio. I think that most people know me because I'm into the electric light bulb. I want to tell you more about myself and the life I live. When I was young, I was interested in everything around me. I was curious about many things, especially science. Life was great when I was growing up. My parents' names were Samuel and Nancy Edison. They were wonderful parents, and I lived in a large house on St. Clair River. As a child, I wanted to find out everything about the world around me. I loved acting like a scientist and learning new things. I did a lot of experiments too. My curiosity and love of adventure helped me to keep trying. I always wanted to come up with new ways to do things. I did not even mind if an experiment didn't work. When I grew up, I accomplished many things in 1874. I developed the telegraph. I invented the electric light bulb in 1879. I also developed machines to help with motion pictures in 1928. I received a special medal from the U.S. Congress. My greatest accomplishment was inventing many things, including the electric light bulb. I lived to be 84 years old. I died on October 18th, 1931. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Thomas Edison because my dad told me about him and I thought it would be a good idea to learn more about him. I have not failed, I just found 10,000 ways that won't work.
Girls, that was amazing. Let's give them another round of applause. They had already done the hard part, and today they all got to be stars, and you were definitely superstars today. Thank you so much. in those reports. And some of them are very hard even for grown-ups to pronounce, but you did so great. And thank you for working so hard and letting me share these with your parents. I know it's hard to get up in front of them, but you did great. You did a wonderful job. I hope you will stick around and check out their beautiful visuals. Come by and see those. And thank you again for being here this morning. And thank you for allowing us to do things like this, to share what they're learning with you. They're truly amazing. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Hello, my name is Neil Armstrong. I was born on August 5th, 1930 in Wapakoneta, Ohio. I think most people know me because I was the first man to set foot on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission. I want to tell you more about myself and the life that I lived. When I was young, I loved building things and trying different experiments. Life was good when I was growing up. My parents' names were Stephen and Viola Armstrong. They were great parents who helped me learn and grow. As a child, I was always interested in flying and learning about planes. I was determined to fly after I saw my first theater show. I would also build model airplanes. When I grew up, I accomplished many things. I went to college for a couple of years, and I decided to join the Navy. I flew small single-engine fighter planes, and I went to fight in the Korean War, and I was one of the youngest pilots. I became an experimental test pilot first, then later applied to be an astronaut. I soon began working for NASA. It wasn't long before I was a famous astronaut in training. My greatest accomplishment was landing on the moon and being the first man to set foot on the moon. I lived to be 82 years old. I died on August 25th in 2012 in Cincinnati, Ohio. I hope you enjoyed learning about my life and what I did to become famous. I chose to read a biography about Neil Armstrong because he was a great inspiration, showing that you can be anything. He was also like my because he's a pilot. He's a pilot like my dad. This is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.